Recently, I've been reaching for a lot of pretty simple whole food recipes for our dinners, and I thought I'd take you along this week and just kind of show you what that's been looking like. These are not fancy foods, but they are foods cooked from scratch and incorporating a lot of whole food. So today, actually, we are going to do some tacos, Taco Tuesday, I guess. And today I want to do it with ground beef. Tacos are such a fun thing. It's so easy to have on a weekly rotation because you can so easily switch it up. Chicken, fish, ground beef, whatever it is. But today we'll do ground beef and then with some avocado, and I have a couple different toppings here. And then I also want to whip up it's like a cottage cheese ranch drizzle situation that we'll drizzle over top. Last week we made those breakfast nachos, and for the tortillas here I'm gonna do pretty much the exact same method, other than obviously I haven't cut these up, but we'll just fry these lightly in some coconut oil, and then I kind of try to fold them in half as they fry just for a few seconds, and we'll go through the whole batch. And I normally don't either season these like I would the chips. For the ground beef mixture, I'm keeping things super simple. I am just going to chop up a couple of onions. I'll just saute them until they're tender before adding the ground beef. And then you could totally add a taco seasoning. I don't usually keep taco seasoning on hand. I should just make my own because I know the bought kind has some things in it that I don't love to add into my cooking, but a homemade version sounds really good. I was just thinking about that as I was doing the chips. You can also add some herbs. I might put a little cilantro in. I think I'll do some cilantro, salt, and pepper today in mine. Drizzle. Super simple. I just take some cottage cheese. This is our homemade cottage cheese. Of course, you could use store-bought as well. This is a little bit more of a dry curd, as I've shared before. And so I will be adding some milk to this. I would say play around with consistency. I will try to actually measure this time so that I can give you detailed measurements in the description box below. Normally, I just dump and taste, but basically you want this cottage cheese to turn nice and smooth, and then I'm going to be adding a little bit extra milk just to get it that drizzly consistency. Yesterday I did this just as a vegetable dip, so I want it to be thicker that way so you can scoop it up with some broccoli and cucumbers. But for this, or if you're using this as a salad dressing, that's also so tasty and just a fun way to add in a little extra punch of protein. And then of course I add in this is a ranch dressing mix. You can also use the Hidden Valley's ranch dip mix, I think is what it's called. It's also a dry packet. It's delicious as well. It tastes very similar to this actually, but this one has a little bit cleaner ingredients. I think that one has MSG, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't believe this one does. So I've been really loving this one, and I believe it's also quite a bit cheaper. So I should have checked if this is actually available online. I didn't think of that. We just pick it up at a local Amish store. So if you are in Pennsylvania, you should have no problem getting your hands on this. But hopefully, even if you're not, you're able to find it online. don't have any tomatoes on hand right now or sauerkraut, which are two of my favorite things to put into tacos, but I do have some of these little green olives and avocados, so today we're gonna go with that. My kids would eat these olives by the spoonfuls if I let them. Living in Pennsylvania, something that we see a lot of are Philly cheesesteaks. And so today I want to do a little bit of a twist on that with sweet potatoes. So I have potatoes baking in the oven, and then chipped steak is what I use for the meat. So I'm going to just cook that down, and we'll do kind of like a baked, loaded sweet potato Philly cheesesteak. Often Philly cheesesteaks are topped with some sauteed peppers. I don't have peppers on hand right now, so I'm going to do some onions instead. This time I'm just going to cut them not as fine as I usually cut my onions, more just into strips, and we'll cook those on the side because I don't want them mixed with the meat for this. We're gonna add a fun little pop of color. I just ran out to the garden to grab some chives to top these with. I thought that would be so tasty. But these, I have a whole bunch, I don't know if you can even see them, a whole bunch of little pansies coming up that self-seeded themselves from the garden last year. And so I thought, you know what a fun pop of color. So obviously, that is a very optional step, but I thought it would be fun here. So I think we're ready to assemble. We'll do the sweet potatoes, and then I think I'm gonna put a little bit of butter on the sweet potato before adding the Philly cheesesteak, as in the meat, and then the sauteed onions and cheese and chives, and it is gonna be so delicious. If I had sour cream on hand right now, I would probably drizzle a little bit of that over. I might grab my ranch, the leftover drizzle that we had yesterday on the tacos. That would be good on there, or even plain yogurt, just to add a little bit more moisture to the potato. Well, I've been working on painting today, so y'all will have to forgive me if I have some paint splotches on my hand still. I did at least change out of paint clothes for you because those are looking pretty rough. But It is mealtime again, and I thought, why not experiment with something, right? I don't know. Sometimes I do that at the worst times when it's like, I have a lot going today. Why not just play around and like add the possibility of needing to cook the meal twice? But I wanted to whip up a pizza crust here, and I thought, again, we have so much cottage cheese, and I love adding that protein where I can. So I'm gonna try something. If it fails, I guess we'll find out together. I did get some inspiration online. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of cottage cheese wraps, even like flatbread type things. And so this isn't completely novice idea by any means, but I'm starting with 4 cups of cottage cheese, and then I'm gonna add in 8 eggs, a little bit of, let me think what I have. I think I have some onion powder, and then we'll do some salt, and probably I'll drizzle the herbs on later. I think we'll just do the onion powder and salt for seasonings right now, and then spread it on a pizza pan. I have a cast iron pizza stone. I think I'll put it on. I wish I had started my stove a little bit earlier. I like to preheat my stone in there. It won't have too much time now, but we'll just spread that on the parchment paper on the stone and cross our fingers and hope for the best. I opted for the cookie sheet instead of my pizza stone because it is fairly thin and I did not want it all over my stove. This may be a complete flop, or it may be a new recipe in our weekly rotation. Let's see. While the crust bakes, I want to work on my toppings here. So I think I'll just do a very simple ham and cheese. My ham is still thawing in the sink, but I have some cheese. This is just my homemade cheddar cheese. Before I add those toppings though, I like to come in with a little bit of avocado oil. Olive oil works really well. I wish I had garlic on hand. I think I'm out right now. Otherwise, some like minced garlic is delicious on there, and then a little bit of herbs. Sometimes I do that completely in place of pizza sauce and it's delicious, but even when you do add pizza sauce, they add such a nice depth of flavor. Today I have cilantro and parsley here. I wish I had oregano or pizza seasoning, but I am out right now. So we're gonna use what we have, and then also out of homemade pizza sauce. So I'm going to use this pizza sauce, and then we have a little bit of olive. So super simple, but hopefully if that crust turns out for us, delicious nonetheless. run, but I wanted to show you what I've been working on. I know I mentioned I've been painting, and we finally got the playhouse done. This has been on my list for quite some time now, so it feels so good. I actually have a little bit of touching up to do on the sides yet, but it feels so good to have it this far. And then Josh just hung window boxes. I'll have to show that to you once it's done. But these are some of the flowers that I'm hoping to plant into there. We have another beautiful day today. It's been a really chilly spring after that like week in April when it felt like summer. But today is beautiful, and so we're going to take advantage of that outside. I hope you gained some inspiration in your kitchen this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I would love to hear in the comments below, by the way, what you're cooking in your kitchen, gained some inspiration from each other. Thank you for joining me, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, friends. Golden thing.